I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to fall in love with yourself. Now, keep in mind, I'm not just talking about your physical body here. I'm not just talking about falling in love with your looks and the physical aspect of you. I'm talking about falling in love with every single aspect of who you are, including the negativity and the heaviness in your life that we tend to run away from, including all the fears, all the worries, all the insecurities, loving all of that until all that's left is just pure love. Now, I know that sounds cliche, but last night I had a powerful awakening experience where I literally felt love flowing through my whole body right while I was meditating. And I realized that I'm actually falling in love with the process of life. Now, it was super powerful for me to realize this because I realized that I have these dreams, I have these aspirations, but I'm also falling in love with the process of life. And that's part of what falling in love with yourself means. Not just your physical body, not just the negative parts of you, which is a part that some people neglect as well when it comes to loving themselves, but also falling in love with the process of life itself, the process and the journey that you're going on. Because of course, negativity and heaviness is going to be a part of the journey. But working through that, working through the duality with the darkness and the light of life, the good and the bad, that is part of the process. And so the last couple months, I've been dropping out of school. I got dropped out of school. I invested thousands of dollars in my coach with money that I barely had in my bank account. I decided to go fully towards my purpose and my dream and my passion. And there's a lot of shifts that I had to make. And then it led to a lot of different things, which made me realize last night that I am falling in love with the process. Like, I'm truly falling in love with the process, and I'm falling in love with myself. I feel like I'm falling in love with myself, not just my ego, but like everything, the whole, like I'm falling in love with reality. Now, if you feel heaviness in your experience right now and you're not there, that's totally fine. Part of loving yourself is accepting that negativity as well. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell because I post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I have a couple spots left for coaching in the month of February. So if you want to apply for a free consultation, hit the link that's in the description box of this video. So there's a couple key things that I found to allow me to fall in love with the process. Now, keep in mind, I'm not some magical saint here. There's a lot of things I haven't fully accepted in my life, but last night was a huge epiphany for me where I realized that I'm really falling in love with the process. Now, if you're not there right now and you feel negativity and heaviness in your experience, and like you're like, Francis, like I don't feel that. I don't feel like I'm in love with the process or with myself at all. Not only am I not in love with the physical parts, but I don't accept like anything. I'm not in love at all. That's totally cool because I'm going to share with you a couple things that I found that have allowed me to connect deeper to this aspect of myself. Now, I'm not saying that I've fully fell in love with myself and that I'm completely in love with reality, but yesterday was a really powerful awakening experience where I realized that I am on the process. I'm in the process to falling in love with myself. And this is super, super powerful. So the first thing I want to share with you to fall in love with yourself and let go of this heaviness that you might be experiencing, to go deeper into your life purpose and what it is that you're truly called to do. Because I do believe that we came here for a reason, to manifest our desires, and that's part of loving yourself. We'll get to that later. But the first thing I want to share with you is to fall in love with yourself is to take some time alone. Take some time alone, right? You can't fall in love with yourself if you're completely lost in the opinions of others. If you have anxiety, if you have fear, if you have worry right now, you got to take some time alone and find out who you really are. Find out who you really are, not just at the ego level, but deeper than that, deeper than the ego. Finding out who you are at the deepest level possible. And you can only do that when you take some time alone. Like, I had to drop out of school. I had to like my process of life right now has been letting go of so many different areas of my life. And this whole spiritual awakening process of letting go, I had to drop out of school, had to change all my relationships, had to hire a coach. And like, it can get pretty lonely on the spiritual awakening process. If you're going through this process, you might be feeling a little bit lonely right now, but you know what it is? It's about falling in love with that, coming to terms with that aloneness, because the truth is that you're not actually alone. That's what I want you to know real quick. You're not alone. There's hundreds of thousands of people on the planet going through this process that you're going through right now. If you're an empath, you identify as an empath or a conscious being, or somebody that's going through this spiritual awakening process, so to speak. You'll find that you have to fall in love with the process, and part of that is accepting that you're going to be alone. Like, as I've been recording, like, my life right now is like, I don't have a lot of relationships. I just wake up in the morning, I do my meditation, and I record a video, and I take some calls with some clients, and I go to the gym. That's pretty much my life right now. Now, some people think, like, Francis, that's a pretty boring life. It sounds pretty lonely. Like, not really, because I'm falling in love with the process. Truly, I'm truly falling in love with the process of my life being this way. And I feel like it's important to fall in love with that aspect of you, because what you'll find is that in order to fall in love with yourself, like, you can't love somebody else until you actually love yourself first. That's the only way. Now, if you really want to love somebody else, you want to love yourself first. And part of doing that is take some time alone, meditating. Don't feel guilty for wanting to take some time alone. In fact, the only way I was able to get to this point, now I'm not saying I have fully accepted everything. There's a lot of negativity that I probably have not become conscious of yet. And so I used to feel like very lonely on this path, but now I'm coming to terms with it. And I feel like that's what's going to lead to the abundance that I truly desire. It's like, this whole process, I was always so scared to be alone, but then I'm realizing that, like, it's part of the process. You want to fall in love with the process of life. Like, meditate. Like, the only reason I was able to get to this point, I believe, was because I let go of relationships. I just recently decided that I'm creating a boundary, an energetic boundary with my family and stuff, and I felt so guilty for doing this. And then right when I did that, I felt like there was an energetic tie released between me and my family. Now, I'm not saying I'm letting go of my family or anything like that, but I am saying that I chose to be an individual and I chose to step into my power. Now, when I did this, I had an awakening experience last night where my heart opened up, and I feel like I fell in love with myself so much in that moment, but I also felt love for all of humanity, paradoxically, because when you love yourself, your love spreads to everything. Now, here's the thing, is it a coincidence that I had this awakening experience as I let go of more in my life, as I specifically decided to create a boundary in my life where I decided that I'm going to move out, I'm going to have my own apartment in the next couple months. I just set that intention to the universe. Is it a coincidence that I had that experience as I came to all these realizations? I don't think so. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in accidents. Everything happens in divine timing. Now, my theory is that I was able to let go of so much: school, relationships, boundaries with family, isolate myself. Now, keep in mind, I'm also bringing myself into the world. So I'm not saying, like, totally isolate yourself. Like, I take calls with clients, I still have social interactions, I record videos daily. Like, I'm still doing a lot in the world, but part of this is, like, fall in love with yourself. Now, I know for some of you, it's going to be hard to take some time alone. Like, I get that. If you're scared to take time alone, I completely understand. But if you're trying to really make an impact in this world, if you're truly trying to create the impact that you really want and be a light worker, be somebody that spreads light to the world, then you're going to have to come to terms with being alone. Now, the beauty of this is that when you accept this, you end up actually finding your true purpose, and you end up loving yourself so much that all the relationships that are meant for you end up coming in anyways. That's the beauty of all of this. So understand that if you feel heaviness from being alone, it's okay, because through that aloneness is where everything that you desire will actually manifest into being. So understand that. So the second part I want to share with you is to love all parts of yourself, not just your physical body, not just your thoughts, but all the negative crap that you tell yourself, all the negative self-talk, all the negative emotions. Love all of that to death. How do you do this? You bring conscious awareness to it. Because what you'll find is that putting consciousness to that, being the observer of negativity and embracing it fully, is like giving it love. You love yourself by expanding your consciousness and bringing consciousness to negativity. Now, that's the last thing that you want to do when you feel negativity. I know that if you feel negativity right now, the last thing you want to do is give that feeling love. But what does a person that feels negative really need? They need more love. If you feel negative emotions in your life right now, is judgment going to solve that? Is fear going to solve that? Is more negativity going to solve that? Is stress going to solve that? Is any of those things going to solve the negativity? No. What you need is more love. Now, I know that sounds cliche, but it's really not, because the only way to let go of all that crap is to love it to death. Just love all of it. Love everything. Love all the darkness, all the negativity, all the guilt, all the fear, all the shame, all the anxiety. Love all of it. All of it to death. Love everything. All parts of yourself. Even the negativity that you don't want to accept. Now, that's the most important thing to love even more than the positive parts. It's easy to love the positive traits of yourself. How about the negative things? Now, here's the paradox, is that when you come to terms with those parts of yourself, you love it to death, you transmute those negative traits into higher consciousness traits, and then from a place of self-love and acceptance, then you can actually change yourself to become your greatest version. That's the paradox. The more that you accept and love yourself the way that you are, the easier it is to change yourself and become who it is that you are meant to be. That's the paradox. That's how this reality really works. When you love all the parts of you, the negativity, the fear, you turn that negativity into presence, and that presence will be the building blocks to change yourself. Love the negativity, turn that negativity into positivity, but you have to love it first. Love all the parts of yourself. Now, other people are ultimately connected to you, so you gotta accept all the darkness outside of you, because it's ultimately connected to you, all the darkness within you, all the ego, all the unconsciousness, all the stuff that we run away from. Love that. That's part of loving yourself. It's not just loving all the good stuff and all the new agey, like, yeah, just love yourself. No, everything. All of it. That is how you turn into your greatest version. You love even the negative parts of yourself, and then you end up being such a strong light in this world because you've accepted everything. Not just the easy parts, not just the parts that are easy to accept, but everything. Literally everything. So the third thing I want to share with you is, in this process, you want to follow your passion and follow your calling. Follow what it is that you want. Because I've been in this process of meditating and being alone, but I've also been setting the intention to create my dream life, to create what it is that I really want. Recording videos daily. Fall in love with the process of your passion. Like, I have all these goals. I want to move into a new apartment in the next couple of months. One of my ultimate goals is 500,000 subscribers. Now, mark my words. When I reach that point, and I know I will, I'm going to go back to this video and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to be living proof that you can manifest your life into existence if you enjoy the process. Mark my words. I will use this video and play it back in a couple months, or a year, 2 years, 5 years, when I finally reach 500K. And I will show you that you can manifest your life into existence by enjoying the process and loving yourself. I'll show you. I'll prove it to myself. It's not for anybody else, just to make a funny motivational video. But understand that Following your passion and following your calling and falling in love with the process of that will be the building blocks to not only create and manifest your dream life, but also falling in love with yourself. Because you want to fall in love with reality. You want to fall in love with the process of reality. Even the negative ups and downs, even the negativity, even the negative patterns that come up. Like I recorded videos daily. I had patterns come up. Are you kidding me? When I invested thousands of dollars in my coach with like money that I barely had, you think that patterns didn't come up trying to self-sabotage me? You think, like, I've been recording videos for 4 months. You think that self-sabotage doesn't happen? Of course it does. I love that part of myself. And then I continue anyways. Now I have visions. I have goals. I just shared some of those goals with you just now. But keep in mind that you want to fall in love with the whole process, the process of life, even the heaviness, even the negativity that comes up, even the darkness, even the ego, the unconsciousness. If you're an empath, all the darkness that comes up, the dark night of the soul. How do you get out of a dark night of the soul? You love yourself even more. You meditate even more. You feel these triggers coming up, you don't want to meditate, what do? You meditate even more. You love yourself until all that's left is love. Follow your passion. Follow what it is that you love to do. Because I know that for a lot of you, this is really heavy territory that I'm entering here. This is very dark, heavy stuff because none of these things resonate with you. You're like, Francis, none of these things resonate with me. I don't know how to take some time alone. I don't know how to love the negativity. I don't know how to follow my passion and my calling. None of these things resonate with me. Well, set the intention that you'll figure out how to love yourself, because you know that at the end of the day, you got to love yourself first. If you want to help people, if you want to help the planet, if you want to live the best life, you're going to have to work through that negativity and love it. How do you do this? Start meditation. Start bringing consciousness. Bring full consciousness to that negativity and allow it to be. Don't resist it. If you resist the negativity, you only create more of that negativity. Follow your passion and fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the process of your passion, of what you want to create. I know that there's heaviness around this. I know that for a lot of you, this is really going to be like an eye-opening video, but also very heavy and tough to hear because it's like none of these points may be resonating, but you know at a deeper level that they're so true. That's what makes it hard to hear. I understand, I've been there. That's why you want to start committing to daily meditation. Check out my free guided meditation by hitting the link that's in the description box of this video. Start meditating. Start loving yourself. Start purchasing more courses. Hire a coach that will help you to go through this process. That's why I have my coach. I can't create this path myself. I need people to help me get on this path, to move through these patterns. Now, following your passion and your calling is going to be super, super necessary. You don't have to do it alone. That's why I have my coach. But you really want to set the intention that you can't love yourself if you're not following your passion. Now, I know how cliche that sounds, but that's the truth. That's what it is. That's like, it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. It is true. It's cliche, but it's true. If you don't follow your passion, you can't love yourself. You can't do something you hate and love yourself. You can, but if you love yourself enough, you wouldn't do something that you hate. If you really loved yourself, would you be doing something you hate right now? Or would you follow your passion and your calling? Fourth thing I want to share with you, which is going to conclude all this and help you to let go of this negativity, is start meditation and a gratitude practice. Like, if you saw what I did yesterday, that was a full-on religious, spiritual experience. Like, I was meditating, and then out of nowhere, I started to put my hands just like this, and I started to thank the universe. I was like, thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you. I just couldn't stop saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My eyes started tearing. I started feeling all this love. I don't feel it right now as much because I can feel the tension in this video that needs to be communicated. But You know what? That's part of loving yourself, is loving the negativity. And if you do that enough, you'll get to high states of love. I had a full-on religious spiritual experience yesterday, and it was so powerful. Now you can get there as well, but it's important that you start to meditate daily, start being grateful. Like, seriously, close your eyes, put your hand over your heart, and just thank the universe. Take a deep breath and just thank the universe. No matter how much negativity you feel right now, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how negative things may be, you do want to love that and just show gratitude, even for that being in your life. Show gratitude for the negativity being part of the process, because understand that the negativity is part of duality, and there can be no light with no darkness. So meditation is about accepting everything. Sit down, be grateful for everything, not just the good, but also the bad. Transmute all that negativity into positive energy. Start meditating daily. Start letting go of what doesn't serve you. Start falling in love with the process. You know, I shared all these things, but ultimately, I'm going to be honest with you, the way that I came to all these conclusions started off with meditation. Building up my consciousness and awareness so much that it was like I was building up so much love within me that I couldn't take care of school anymore. Like, I couldn't leave that in my life. I couldn't have these negative relationships. I couldn't not create boundaries with my family. Like, it's all the result of consciousness. So really, if you start meditating daily, if you start showing gratitude daily, you're going to start to come to these conclusions yourself. You're like, oh yeah, I love myself. I have to drop out of school, because otherwise that wouldn't be love. You think like, oh yeah, actually I love myself so much that I have to love all the negativity too. You start thinking like, oh well, if I love myself, then why would I not follow my passion? Right? If I had no fear and I follow love, oh yeah, I'm just going to follow my passion. It just becomes like normal to you. Like, because you have the consciousness and awareness to show you like, hey, that's how it is. Like, if you love yourself, you wouldn't be doing something you hate. But usually we stay stuck in these patterns because we're just unconscious of how much it's a disservice to ourselves and the people around us. Huge disservice to yourself. And if you're disserving yourself, you're disserving humanity, because you as an individual are part of the collective and humanity. How can you love others if you cannot love yourself? Impossible. You cannot love others if you cannot love yourself. Part of loving yourself is having a daily meditation and gratitude practice. That is the most powerful thing I can possibly recommend to allow you to come to these conclusions yourself, where you don't have to just follow my advice on blind faith because Francis appears to have it all figured out, which I don't. I'm just sharing with you my experience and my journey that I'm going on with the intent of adding value to your life. If you started meditating and showing gratitude, you would come to all those conclusions yourself. You wouldn't have to take my word for it. You wouldn't have to just listen to me and just believe me. No, don't believe me. Start meditating and understand what true love is. Love as consciousness and awareness beyond the ego. Because that's the truth of love. The truth of love is that love is actually pure consciousness, and that you can either move towards the direction of love in your life, or you can move into the direction of hate and ego and selfishness and unconsciousness, or you can follow the light, follow the consciousness, the love, follow love, not fear. Now, when you follow that, naturally you will start to come to these conclusions, and you'll start to actually love yourself in a much more powerful way. So once again, if you want to try my free guided meditation, hit the link that's in the description box of this video. That may be the first step that you need to start loving yourself if you're new to this kind of stuff. Also, I'll leave it as a comment in this video. So that's all I have for this video. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.